Is day 17, raising children who give. Give. I apologize for the late post today. I had plans to post around lunchtime as court started really early this morning, and then life happened a little bit, as it seems to every day these days, and then I forgot until now. So just pulled into my house, and here's our video. The passage for today on raising children who give is from Proverbs 3, verses 7 through 10. And the general principle here is a tip to that we should teach our children to give back to the Lord when they're very small, as a habit. Anytime that they get money, I think especially if they earn money for chores, or if they do a little job or something something like that. Excuse me. Excuse me. However, the concept is this: if we expect our children to feel like they ought to and feel like they can give as they are young adults, they're going to need to have that routine and that rhythm of doing things like that when they're younger. I mean, I'll confess, I need to work better at this. It has not been a point of emphasis for me, and it ought to be. There's a quote in the reading from John D. Rockefeller that says, "I would have never been able to tithe my first $1,000,000 if I hadn't been able to tithe my first salary, which was $1.50. In other words, no matter how much money we make, no matter how much money we have, it's human nature. We're always going to think that I need every dime of that to do, this or that, or we're going to see, the new thing that we can buy with that money, unless we are just in the rhythm of giving. Now, the nice thing about regular giving is that, there is a real blessing to that. The blessing to it is that it becomes mindless. We set up the procedure of regular giving with the right heart, and we have the right heart when we just simply make it a practice, to give. However, it takes our mind out of it takes away the temptation and the thought of, well, I could use it for this, and I could use it for that. I mean, or the ability to back ourselves into a corner with debt so that we don't tithe. And so the idea of tithing or regular giving is a blessing in that way. It doesn't mean we have the wrong heart. It doesn't mean we're doing it for the wrong reasons. It means it equips us and makes us better able to withstand the temptation to send our monies elsewhere. This is not a lesson specifically on, whether, should we tithe, should we not tithe, is tithing a New Testament thing or whatever. That's not really the point of this. However, the idea of tithing is one that we can specifically use to teach our children. If there wasn't the idea of the tithe, then we really would not have this tool to teach our children with. We could give special offerings and things like that, with our children, but it wouldn't regularly come up. It would be really difficult to teach our children in other ways, other types of New Testament offerings, other than the tithe. Not to say that it's impossible, but it would be more difficult. If you're interested in the concept of tithing versus other offerings, New Testament giving, whatever you want to call it, check out the verse here, where we're reading about the first fruits of everything that we have. I mean, it's a command from the Lord. And then there's other verses throughout the Bible that point to the tithe, further define what the tithe is. I just always remember that when Abraham, when he went on this like original Delta Force, special operations mission, and he goes and And he defeats all these kings with just his servants, and they bring back the spoils of that battle. He goes to Melchizedek, and Melchizedek is both the king of Salem and the priest, and he gives, sorry, phone slipped out of my hand, and he gives him tithes. Okay, and then elsewhere in scripture, what is the tithe? That's further defined, but that's before the law. That's before all of the Mosaic law and everything about that. I consider it fundamental. And it's consistent with the passage here from Proverbs 3, our first fruits given to the Lord. And, if that needs a number, I mean, we get it from Scripture, and we call it a tithe, our first 10%. That's a minimum. It's a baseline. But again, it's really not about that. It's about using this to teach to our children, teaching them a lifestyle that they can build upon and look back on when it's time for them to make their own decisions for themselves. Have a great day, everyone, or evening at this point, and I'll see you tomorrow on the next one. Love you. See ya.